Alright, let's figure out what this thing does. And watch us just out and out finish this mission within the next 2 minutes and I just tack it onto the previous.
This is it. All Beeson's plans, written here in our own recorded history. The mural tells of the mage Farlong, who sought to make himself a king of Niskaru, and how Aegon thwarted him. Beeson thinks he will succeed where Farlong failed. And he just might. Because he could not learn what he needed to know anywhere else. Everything he needs is written here, down to the last detail. Beeson's minions call themselves Farlongir. As Beeson does now, the mage Farlong gathered cursed artifacts and used them to raise a host of lesser Niskaru. Do you see? Beeson follows Farlong's path at every step.
Well, I guess we get to be Egan. Egan has a nice beard. I wouldn't mind a nice beard.
I think we must. Farlong tried to free a Niskaru lord from its mountain prison. With such power behind him, he would have been unstoppable. As Beeson seeks to mimic Farlong, so we must match Eamon and stop him.
Yeah.
A chaotic being of immense power. If it were loosed upon the world... But it must not. It mustn't. Yes, he did. The mystic hammer, forged by Eamon for the hands of his son Aegon. It alone could halt Farlong's spell and restore the Niskaru lord to his prison. I know of it, but not its location. But Delphric may be able to help with that. Return to Shieldring Keep. I will travel to Ironfast Keep in Detir and learn all I can. Meet me there.
Whee! Ooh. I thought this was a secret door, but no, it's just an easy exit. Convenience.
No, I like how they do that in this game.
Yeah, though, you know, in my super long spree of side quests, there are actually a lot of dungeons where you can't, and it was a huge pain in the butt. What is with the sighing? Just the random spiders?
More spiders. I really don't like creatures in games that are just meant to be a small impediment.
Yeah,
because they're not plot important, and they're just to keep you from walking down this road.
Yeah. I mean, this is how you're supposed to get to a higher level faster, but it's still stupid.
There you are. Is it time to return?
Yes, you can see my ear.
Then, is it? I think we'll not see this scrap of shore again once we go.
Oh, actually, there's one last thing I want to check. So, we're going to go cut to whatever it is on this edge of the island, because there's a part I didn't explore. And if there's nothing here, then whoops.
Ooh, what's that statue?
Okay, never mind, we'll just talk. I believe that is the Niskaru Lord.
No, she's pretty.
Oh, yeah, maybe. She just looks a little bit menacing.
It looks like she's a fae.
There is a shrine over here. Alright, no cutting. That sounded worse. Anyway, there's a random shrine over here. Oh, but it's not one of those shrines. It's a random chest with golden in it. Okay. I guess that's acceptable. Let's go back to the boat.
It definitely looks like a fae lady.
Okay, this
and
is
a
just,
spider.
This is just dumb.
No more.
There's a chest, but I just...
You didn't grab it, and now you have spiders and one of those freaky...
Yeah, fuck that. Goodbye.
Oh wait, there's another chest.
Don't care.
A purple one.
Don't care. Got enough loot. Plus, this loot is kind of underwhelming anyway. I hope that spider stops following me so I can leave. Yes! Let's go!
Time to return.
Yes! Let's go! Shut up! Let's go! Go away! Goodbye, mutton chop man!
That music sounded ominous, almost like some of the Star Wars music.
Possibly.
Dun, dun.
Alright, we're going all the way back to the Warsorn Keep. That's a ways away. Fast travel! I'm really happy this game has fast travel in it. Like, I keep wanting to talk about games that I can't talk about, and it pisses me off.
Yeah, but let's compare, let's say, World of Warcraft to
Yeah.
Guild Wars.
like, at least they had the griffins, but if this game had no fast travel system, I would be so unhappy playing it.
Yeah, you see, and WoW, I like mounts because it gives, you know, some level of customization. You sort of have a cool pet that you can brag about.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, it's nice flying around.
Yeah.
And I think that
having to spend half an hour flying from one end of the continent to the other just sucks.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, the one thing that it takes away from a game to have portals like in Guild Wars 2 with the Asura Gates, it's...
You stop looking at the environment.
You stop looking at the environment and suddenly it's, oh hey, I need to beat this, you know, frost giant to get, you know, a cool chest. But oh, this next monster is spawning on the other side of the world. In, you know, 5 minutes, I'll go there directly afterwards. And oh, it's just, you know, people spend a silver here and there. Granted, it used to be several silver, but they brought the price down. But suddenly it's like it's just a teleportation from here to there to there to there to there, and you don't enjoy the environment anymore. And the fact that they have portals, several of them in one area. I
think the viewers are getting bored. We need to talk to this guy.
Sorry.
I don't know. I just like talking when we're moving, and when we're just standing there waiting to talk to a dude, it's like, eh.
I know.
As soon as I received news of your discoveries, I learned whatever I could of the Alpha Lord, Anru Beeson. He is indeed a powerful man, a member of the Orbacant, or he was, until he proposed using Niskaro in the war. He was laughed off the council, and then vanished, taking some of Rathir's most powerful mages with him. Yes, I see. It should be in Aegon's tomb. Alas, pledge shield, none below Oathblade are permitted inside our sacred places. But this is easily solved. For your valor and honor, in the name of the First Sworn, I bestow upon you the rank of Oathblade. Take this as a token of the honor. Now, the tomb lies just south of Ulcerund. It opens only with this key. Proceed to Ironfast once you have the hammer. And
well, that's convenient.
First sworn, may you know victory.
You know what would have been kind of crappy if they're like, go do this fetch quest to become an Oathblade, because tradition, rah, stupid. Hey, haven't we already been to Egan's tomb? Well, at least I've explored it. Oh, but I've never been inside. Now we can. Yeah, we've never been in here before. It's tiny, which is convenient. I really didn't want to do a dungeon.
Hey, this is huge.
I mean, yes, but...
in our tomb standards.
Well, yeah. Yeah, they don't make them like they used to. Oops.
Hey.
Pants. See if they're any better. No. That's kind of a shame.
It's sort of gross. What were you doing? Were you just, you know, cracking all the bones out of that and throwing them back in?
Ooh, it's a dead guy. Let's take his pants. No, that's pretty much the mentality behind it. Alright, where are we going? We're going back over here. Ironfest. Oh. Apparently I've never actually been to Ironfast Keep.
It makes me sort of sad when I see mummies in museums and such. Because I know that they're educational, but they were stolen from their resting places and put on display for people to ogle at. Remember that one in Boston where it was just a head?
Yeah, well, okay, two things. A, Egypt actually has diplomatic issues with Britain especially, because more or less Britain just stole a bunch of their precious historical artifacts. Mm-hmm. However, with the recent government changes and whatnot, I don't really trust Egypt to keep a hold of the pyramids even, much less mummies and...
Because people are starting to steal chunks of them, right?
Well, no, actually, there's a large number of religious leaders that have been calling for the destruction of the pyramids.
Because they were pagan.
Yeah, because they are not Islamic. And I am sure I am over-exaggerating a large amount of this.
A world wonder and, you know, deserving of protection.
Well, yes. But the thing is...
Isn't that the reason why, what was it? The Axis, like, stockpiled a bunch of weapons in, like, the Parthenon or something?
I would not be surprised.
Because I remember that
but here's the thing.
War, there were
if the Egyptian population goes in, it would be on Egypt to protect it. The U.S. Army wouldn't just show up and then protect the pyramids. That would be a huge diplomatic incident. Mm-hmm. And everybody would be unhappy. Though, I mean, the pyramids getting broken. Wow, that's a lot more side quests for me to go do.
So where are you now? Oh, there she is.
Ironforge feet. Ironfast feet.
You have the remains of the hammer. It is... I should have expected this. It was forged in the Hall of the First Sworn. It must, I think, be reforged there. The hall is not far, only... I don't know what to do when we get there. The hall lies south through the canyons. Meet me there.
I wonder how many tropes this could have.
What, you mean going on TV tropes and just looking at it? I think that's an interesting question, because this game did get 9s and such, like 8s and 9s, on all the various review sites, but it's never felt like it's had that big of a following. Like, it was one of those games that had critical acclaim, but not market success. I think they sold a couple million copies at this point. Well, I assume they have.
I mean, I think it definitely has the lore and the locations and such. I just don't think it's the same impact or brevity that, like, Lord of the Rings and other things has. It's sort of like their character isn't as involved as they should be.
I think part of it is the character feels more like a plot device.
I'm sorry for the way I left Ironfast. The last time I saw my mother was the day she set off for these ruins. She came here and never returned. I thought maybe... But we must be going. Records speak of a sacred passage that leads to the forge.
That if she found her mom's corpse somewhere.
Or the mother's clearly evil and...
transformed into some banshee or something?
Yeah, sure, why not? Oh,
Sheesh.
man. I hate it when they do that. It's like, this door is locked by unusual means.
I really do love all these runey things that glow.
No, I think that's kind of one of the biggest sins of game design that they made in this game. Because the monster design, great. The environment design, also great. The character design, kind of weak.
I like the Fae, though.
Armor, the equipment, the weapons, yeah, but the Fae are really just elves with funky ears. But at least their lore is interesting. But, like, I feel like they squandered it by just putting all this effort into making all these random piecemeal dungeons and side quests to just pad out the game instead of making it interesting. Like I mentioned, they made this character into more of a McGuffin instead of an actual character. Take Shepard in the Mass Effect games.
Yeah.
Shepard is a character.
Though the third game felt a little weak by the end.
I liked it and I didn't like it. But I think that's because we beat it at this point. We've seen the ending, and no spoilers, but it's just as disappointing as people said it was.
But I felt that half the game was just you and your buds reminiscing about old times.
Yeah, it was definitely just like, well, we have to wrap everything up, so let's just revisit everything that you've done and everyone you may have had some kind of unfinished business with. And it worked. It definitely did feel kind of like the high school reunion type game as opposed to...
I don't really have any desire
interest
to go
in
to high school reunions.
But it's still one of those that's like, remember all
Especially-
those good times. Well, here's a couple more before you're done.
I mean, I could only really think of maybe, I don't know how many dozens of people that I would be interested in seeing. But I came from a class of nearly 500 kids, and I only knew a good maybe 50 some of them from class, but I was really only befriended, a couple of them.
Oh.
And I was in honors classes and AP classes, so it really segregated the population.
Didn't hit it. Yeah. I guess for me, I'm gonna go back to the whole, like, shepherd versus this character thing. It's like, I think we touched on it a couple, or no, we were talking about it in Dust, where a character as a, like, actual character or a tool for the plot, and how I was thinking, like, this character, complete tool for a plot, has no character. Like, yes, there's a backstory, but they're trying to ascribe the backstory to almost you, the player.
But do you think that the impact of voice acting was enough to give Shepard that oomph over this one?
Right.
What?
Let's do this.
That's the mother.
Really?
Yep.
Ah.
Don't know if she's like a skeleton now. I think she is.
She's probably.
There's no hope. We've come all this way. For what? You and I are not Eamon. How can we ever hope to pass through that?
Only those foreseen may enter here. Fate bars this path, and none may alter fate.
But you can alter fate. Go through with fate.
This is nonsense.
Fate shift door.
Apparently you can mash A there and just wiggle your character back. Nonsense.
Approach, mortal.
Approach.
I really like Fate Shift
hammer.
mode. It looks cool.
Must be remade. The hammer. To the forge. You will know the way. The wisdom is within you.
What is this voice? Ooh, what is this voice? Who do you hear whispers?
Sorta, yeah. But, like, as I was saying... Well, as you were kind of saying, you know, voice acting... yeah, like there's any other way to go, mysterious voice man. But, like, if this character was voice acted and, you know, you had some amount of personality, like, you actually reacted to reawakening from the dead as opposed to just, like...
Look at it, how it shines. This is a weapon of legend. Held in Aegon's hands, it felled Niskaru by the score. But now we have our own legends to make. The Niskaru Lord Kamazondu is imprisoned in Cloudcrest Mountain, in the Hollowlands. As Beeson weaves his spell, something called the Niskaru Lord's Crown will emerge. Are you listening? With the Mystic Hammer, yes. And only the Mystic Hammer. Nothing else will injure these emanations. Cloudcrest Mountain looks over the southern Hollowlands, west of here. I'll meet you there with reinforcements. Don't delay.
I actually thought that was cool that you could only open the door with fate.
Yeah, that was actually interesting. Why don't they do it anywhere else?
And like, you hear this woman was, you know, so dejected, and she's just like, look, we can't get through. And you were able to. You see, I felt that was...
It was interesting. It would have, like...
It felt like your actions meant something.
Yeah. If only we weren't, you know, just a silent protagonist with the personality of Wood. Like, I think the voice acting would really help because everybody else is voice acted. But, for example, there, we had the dialogue option, get in there and smash it, right?
Yeah, if you can imagine, you know, our female character saying, what? Get in there and smash it, right?
Yeah, just some amount of character. Oh, come on.
No, that's true. I think voice acting would have helped it.
Yeah.
And emotion on the part of your character. Because
you could definitely empathize with a character that says, you know, get in there and smash it, right? Or at least get a chuckle out of it. Where instead, it's, you know, pick a dialogue option A.
Now, there is an interesting dichotomy, though. Because I've heard it said that, okay, for instance, Link doesn't say a word, but he's pretty emotional. Like he
But that's because they make
exudes
him
it.
emote.
They make him
He'll
emote.
be surprised, he'll be angry, he'll be dejected, random minor. Okay.
Yeah, but I've heard that in some games, having a character in and of themselves, especially one that you create, alienates the player because it ruins their fantasy of being the character.
Sort of.
Whereas, I don't know. I think it works for Shepard in the fact that Shepard is supposed to be a character, but at the same time, people trying to imagine themselves as Shepard. I don't know.
I think that issue was more something that was more of like a problem way back when we didn't have the capacity to voice act everything ish. I don't know. Let's keep talking about it, but let's keep talking about it in the next episode of Amalur because it's about that time. Hey chaps. See you guys then.